The following broadcast is a Nighthawk Network presentation. Hey, what up, though? E-Buck in the building. Y'all know what it is. It's time to talk sports, and we do it on this little show we call Gametime Audible, where me and this dude to my right over here, we discuss sports on a major level, pretty much every
Sincere.
else show, because that's what we do, and we like to do that time. So that being said, tune on in for the next 90 minutes or so. Let's get it in. Of course, I have to give him the proper introduction. There he is, the man, the master plan, looking real smooth and young over there today with the fresh face. That dude, the
I have
sports
to get
review.
everything, man.
You?
People thinking I'm too old, man. I got them grades, man. That's them wisdom grades. You know what I'm saying? I had to cut them all out of me, though, man.
Like
But no,
I told him earlier, y'all. I think he put a LeBron on us today. Decided to go ahead and clean it up.
they went up. It's 5-1.
All right. So yeah, keep in mind, we are definitely keeping an eye on a couple things in particular. One of them we're gonna tell you about right now, as we see people popping in. Pride Hunter in the building. What's going on, Pride? Make sure you hang
What's
around for
up,
a
man?
minute. We got a couple things you might want to chime in on shortly. But in the meanwhile, check this out. Uh, we know football season is in full effect, no doubt about that. And you know we're gonna talk a lot of football tonight, as we will do most of the rest of the year. That's why we have a whole separate segment that we call the Google's football session. But before we go there, there's a couple things going on in a couple of other major sports I want to kick in with. Let me get this comment right quick before we do that. My brother Pride checking in. What up, though? What up, though, Grasshopper? What's happening? So check it out.
Maybe.
Keep in mind, regular season almost over in baseball. Not much to talk about in terms of playoffs and whatnot. Most of that's pretty much well decided. The Yankees are definitely going to the playoffs. I told you, Hugh. But of course,
Mhm.
the main reason why they going is this young man right here that we got to talk about. Because let me tell you, this month that's not over, this dude, as of yesterday, was hitting 475 for the month, sir. 475. What dude am I talking about? This dude right here. One Aaron Judge. Okay, Hugh. Here's since that is your team and that's your guy, here's your chance to talk about it. What you got to say about that dude Aaron Judge?
It's bittersweet right now. I'm a little scared because me and one of my homeboys, my boy Eric Merriweather, we was talking, and I'm a little nervous, man, because he's been flirting with the enemy, and I haven't been too happy. But you know, the Yankees got that money to keep him right there where he at, and I think he gonna break the record as far as.
So glad you brought that up, sir. Let me interrupt you just for a minute and point out that y'all remember the situation. It was earlier in the year, right after the strike ended, and Judge and them was doing a little negotiation, and the Yankees was basically trying to lowball old boy. They didn't even want to pay him as much as they paid Lindor over for the Mets. And you know he couldn't do that. He know he was a better hitter than that. So you know what that dude Aaron Judge did? He did something that's become very common lately in sports. He bet on himself. And
Hmm.
boy, oh boy, that looking like a good idea for him right now.
Yes,
How
sir.
good is he right now? Oh, let's just see. He leads the majors in home runs with 60. He leads the American League in home runs, RBIs, fastballs, as in walks, on base percentage, runs scored, and batting average. That means that if the season ended today, boys and girls, he would be eligible for this thing we call the triple crown. That being said, if the vote was tomorrow, who you think gonna end up being the MVP of the American League?
It'll definitely go to Judge, and it's been like a really like tug of war between him and Otani. And don't get me wrong, man, Otani won a lot of games pitching as far as hitting home runs too this year. That's very impressive. But
Otani got some good numbers, true enough, but you cannot deny the Triple Crown winner. Come on now.
not all. You always got to bow
There's only
down to
one Triple Crown winner that did not win MVP, and that, of course, was the great Ted Williams, because, of course, that was, I believe, the same year that Joe DiMaggio hit 57 in a row. I believe that was that same season. That's why he didn't win. But that being said, he should have won, and no, definitely Judge will win. That being said, they're gonna pay him somewhere around 30 million a season. How much you think he gonna get now when he could come there and be like, let's see, I won the MVP, I won the Triple Crown, I broke the American League record for home runs. Pay me.
on his back. He carrying the Yankees on his back.
That being said, let's just say on the end tail of that, you can add, oh yeah, and we won the World Series. How much you think he'll make then?
First off, you don't be playing with my emotions like that, man. But yeah, man, they got to pay that man for what he worth. And you said that.
I believe it was Jim Rohn I listened to today. He said, I got some numbers for you. Let's talk 50 million, 7 years, 350 million. Let's start there.
I wouldn't even lose no sleep over that because I know the guys now are getting pissed off getting these long extended contracts. Give them, like you said, 6, 7 tops. That's because they're trying to make that the max right now in the MLBPA. And yeah, just roll with
I think that's a good move. I like the 7-year deal. That being said, is 50 gonna be enough?
I don't know, man. Definitely, man. They're gonna have to do something because the player's starting to play as good as he is, man. And I've learned too now, if he's not getting the at bats, they scared and they gonna walk him. Guess what, man? You still got Stanton down.
And when you say flirt with the enemy, is that enemy the Boston Red Sox?
Yeah, I remember hearing him saying
with that type of power in Yankee Stadium. Imagine him dealing with the monster every day.
Man, that'll be ugly. I don't want to see that.
There's reports he's flirting with the other enemy as well. That would be the New York Mets. Now, wouldn't the Yankees very, very much hate that if the Mets signed him instead, and you pair him up with that dude Alonso and Lindor, with Scherzer,
then you got DeGrom over there, man, too. Oh, man.
Yes, sir. And that dude Carrasco been pitching pretty good, too, I might add.
Lindor, man, you got a lot of talent over there, man. They just wasn't able to get it together for a while, and now they finally got it together over there. I just think
real good. New York baseball in general looking real good these days, y'all. But look, I definitely want to give this dude his respect, okay? The bottom line is, like I said, he bet on himself, and he is about to cash out big time.
Big time. He about to make crazy money. I can't wait till the winter meetings, man. That's gonna keep everything relevant, man. When we call,
you end up with 350 million, but you end up being a Triple Crown winner and maybe winning the World Series, the endorsement money just going. That dude about to be a billionaire.
What was the young pitcher name, man? Good kid too, man. San Francisco Giants. His old dude taught him how to pitch, and I think he said he'd drop $1 on the ground, and he wanted him to go as low as whenever he pitched, he could pick up that dollar. I forgot his name. Was it Tim Lincecum?
Yeah, that was Tim.
Yeah,
Lincecum.
That kid, man, oh, he bet on himself at one point because remember he was like 2 years in, and they were like, "Well, no, we're not gonna pay you the money yet." They
Mhm.
keep him in his rookie deal. Then he was up for arbitration, and he won. And I'm talking about he won big time. It's like how y'all gonna deny this man? And
Right.
they won the World Series, and he was an MVP. And that type of stuff, man. When you get that merit on your name, and then when those
Mhm.
contracts and this arbitration and stuff come up, man, they're
And
gonna
there's
always
a few people in the NFL betting on themselves this year. We definitely gonna talk about some of them when we get to that part of the show. But yeah, definitely had to go there. So of course we are keeping an eye out for Aaron Judge this evening to see if he actually breaks the record tonight. I definitely say it happens by the end of the week. And yeah,
yes.
that 65 looking real good. I kind of laughed at it when you said it earlier, but it could happen. You know,
And he could 65 because where he cranked up two yesterday, I said, yeah, he right there in my ballpark. He right there in my spot of where I thought he'd be. And then
that being said, there's other teams looking at that and saying, yeah, it's time for a change. Among them, the Tigers, who did sign a new president earlier this week, somebody they pilfered from the Giants. He has a good record. He was the assistant GM back in the days when the Cubs won the World Series. So he has learned from the very best. If you could not get the man that I really wanted, Theo Epstein, why not get
oh
the
yeah,
next best thing, which is his protege? And apparently that's what this dude is. So hopefully that tutelage will help bring a championship to my Tigers. I hope so. In the meanwhile, KC decided, yeah, they tired of seeing what they seeing too, and fired their president as well. What's your thoughts on that, you?
it's time, man. We've been in the bottom of the totem pole for so long, man. Whenever you see bad teams and you see bad divisions, most times it'll be either us second from the last or we were the last, and we was trading places with the Kansas City Royals. Crazy part is no matter how good of a team we had, World Series caliber and all, we always play down to the Kansas City Royals. But it was time for both changes.
Right.
I was happy that they got rid of Avila when they did. Scott Harris gonna be a good addition, man. Like you said, that's Theo Epstein's protege, and hopefully he can do us some justice because I was surprised that they kept Avila for that long. Man, why? Who the hell knows? But I still look
I
at it
think
like
if not for COVID, they probably would have got rid of him a couple years ago.
I wouldn't even been surprised because it was deserved, and we always talked about that. But now you have, um, Kansas City too with their move. It's about time, man, because I know they're tired of being to the point to where they're always last. But one thing that still leaves a sour taste in my mouth, no matter how bad Kansas City Royals are and how bad they've been, they still got a World Series before we did, man. That hurts.
Yeah,
You know?
it did. And I ain't got nothing but love for KC. My people's from there. But that being said, the city of Kansas City and the city of Detroit, we both deserve better. And hopefully we have found better. With that being said, the only other baseball discussion I think we should have is our watch on that dude that we know as La Machine. Where's he
Yeah.
at right now, Hugh?
He's still he two away now. He has 698, and I definitely believe he'll get that 700 before the season over. And I believe that team gonna cruise into the playoffs too. They have a really good team, and like you said, at one point,
Yeah,
what
they
you say?
definitely. I said, yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely.
Remember, at one point we were saying Milwaukee was up, but they wasn't up a lot. And then we said they always seem like around a certain time in September that they start to click. Man, they clicked and clacked, and they right back where they belong. They like 8, 9 games above the Milwaukee Brewers. That's why I believe there's going to be some changes there in Milwaukee too, as well, because they had so much expectations and it's not as good as they thought. But yeah, man, I still feel like right now it's going to be a really fun and exciting playoff run too, as well. But I definitely hope both of those gentlemen, Aaron Judge and Albert, both get their records and I definitely would like to see the playoff seedings because they're already getting amped up and getting playoff stuff together. I was surprised that the Yankees bombed first. Did you know that they said that they were going to actually have your boy Garrett Cole as the starting pitcher in the playoffs? So that's already set.
Yep. Shout out to my boy Leroy. What's going on, nephew? Yeah, send me your number in the messenger. I will try to hit you up either tomorrow or Friday. Been crazy. I need to talk to you about some things too, actually. So yeah, send your number just to make sure I got it, and we'll discuss. But people, that's it for the baseball. Shout out to my cousin Tika. I see you in the building. What's going on, cuz? Let's move on. Got to talk a little NBA,
Oh
and
yeah, that's what's going on there, baby.
it's a few things I want to touch on. The main thing is we want to talk about the present owner of the Phoenix Suns announcing today, after all the scandal that we talked about last week, deciding that yeah, it's time for me to sell both the Suns and the Mercury. What was your thoughts when you heard about that one, Hugh?
Man, I was disappointed because now, man, it's like you always know that it's still that going on, under on his breath and just the way that they handle themselves, with the racism and, with the women, how they treat women and, just a lot of the old school mentality is still in some of these owners. But it's a non-tolerant league, though, and it's
But see,
non-tolerant to the players, and they
I
always
understand
lash out
too.
at the
They
players.
say part of what brought this decision on that Leroy, as tired as I am, sir, after doing this show, it better be of serious importance, sir. Life and death. If you need to talk to me tonight. But that being said, here's what happened. A couple days ago, we had one of our favorite podcasters. That would be the man that we know likes to talk a lot about what goes on in the NBA, not named Charles Barkley. So you know who I'm talking about.
His protege.
Yes, the up and coming Charles Barkley, so to speak. And I like what Draymond said because he was like, look, here's the deal. We need to have the owners put this to a vote. And we need to make that vote publicized. Because we need to know what y'all gonna do about this. And
Mhm.
that forced a few people's hands because think about it. If you vote for this, you're saying, yeah, we can't have that type of stuff go on in the league. If you vote against this, it's like, oh, so you supporting racism, you supporting misogyny, you supporting homophobia, you supporting bad treatment in the workplace, sexual harassment, etc., etc. That's good to know. Maybe your team should be boycotted as well. So I'm pretty sure that what happened after that was behind the scenes. There were several owners like, look, man, we like you, you are a boy and everything. We still gonna let you hang out with us and everything, but what you're doing is bad for business. Okay, they're starting to get on us. They starting to get on us, and that's not a good look. Then of course, during the week since we left the air, we had the city of Phoenix saying, yeah, we're not liking this. We may have to deal with some other stuff. We had the state of Arizona saying, yeah, we're not liking this either. We may have to deal with some other stuff with you. We had the governor speak out saying, yeah, I don't too much like what's going on here. We had some of the sponsors come out and say, I don't know, I want to advertise with this type of stuff going on. We had the minority owner, the second in command, so to speak, come out and say, yeah, I think you got to go, bruh. The news got tighter and tighter. He had to do something. And in the end, he's still going to benefit because just like when Sterling sold the team
He
for
gonna
damn
get paid for
billion
something to sell.
dollars, that's pretty much the going price now. So
Hmm.
in the end, yeah, you lose the right to your team, but you still make a grip load of money. So you still benefit from being an a-hole.
Yeah, because we know that Donald Sterling got fired for less, and I'm not saying what he did was less, but it was more or less the lady had a wire on her, and a lot of the stuff happened when she was getting out of him was in the privacy of this man's home, you know. And there's certain things that happened with that was like more or less undercovered versus this man's blatantly doing these things, and something
And,
had to
and,
be
and
done.
several people have been discussed with, and it's come out by several people that these things went on. From his former head coach Earl Watson to some of his employees to some of his people that worked in the office itself that he worked in. Some had to go on. Okay, they couldn't just leave it like this.
Did you hear about the time when they wanted him to like basically, come up and weigh himself and do like a physical? It wasn't even that type of physical. And they said he just pulled down his pants and underwear, man, in front of the lady. And I was like, man, y'all condone that type of stuff? Like, when is a person able to do that at a job and to be able
Apparently,
to
it was
do
said
a job?
to one of the people in the upper office that, yeah, we can't hire the white coach. These N words need an N word coach.
Damn,
These
I
are
ain't hear
like
about
he was
that.
saying in the office, in public of everybody.
Damn, he out cold with it.
Yeah,
And the 1 year fine of 10 million don't justify that. He got to get the hell
not
out of
at
here.
all. And like I
Damn,
said, he's about to make that 10 million back and then some. So by all means, please sell the team because
please.
the city of Phoenix deserves better, and then of course Phoenix Suns deserve better, and this young lady deserves better. Free Brittany Griner! The fuck? Sorry I missed that last week,
Yeah.
y'all.
Angry slippery. Yeah.
But that being said, the president did actually talk to the wife of Brittany Griner this week to let her know that they are definitely working on trying to get her out. Mr. President, with all due respect, try harder.
You heard what he said? You heard what he said? He said that he
Hold on.
told Washington that if they chose the black coach over Thunder Dan.
Yep, that is what happened. So you are familiar with the story, Pride. Like I said, I knew you had something to interject in there. But yeah, bye. See you later, bruh.
Yeah,
Enjoy
because
your money on the way out. That being said, we also got to talk about a minor signing that might end up being a major deal. In other words, I want to talk about the 1 year deal of Dennis Schroeder with the Lakers. What's your
yeah.
thoughts on that, Hugh?
He should have took the money the first time. A lot of people was badgering me, and they got upset with me because you already know me, E man. If I feel a certain way and I don't like what you do, man, if I can't do nothing about it because I'm just a regular Joe, I'm gonna hit you up with some really good memes. And I hit him good with one, man, and there was a lot of responses on that too. It wasn't even a sports situation or a theme. I just was like, you leave LA when they were going to sign you for 84 million to take less money to go to Boston for chump change.
And
Now
then
he really
had the Oak strong as he.
got chump change, not because that Boston deal looks like a double up as far as salary, because the 2.4 million he getting, man, for that 1 year, he ought to be ashamed. I feel like, I don't know, maybe he just didn't want to be in that type of pressure, having a star like LeBron on his team and the pressure of winning and losing. Because if you win, they're gonna love you, but if you lose, they're gonna hate you in LA. It's a love and hate relationship. But yeah, I just really felt like that was a dumbfounded move, and I feel like, man, I'm not the richest man in the world, not by far, never probably will be. But I would have took that first deal, man, and at least I could have solidified myself and put that money up and invested in a lot of other future, investments versus me taking like 5-6 million in Boston, then turning around and making 2.4 million. Like, it didn't really make sense to me. Make it make sense that you go and you leave LA for a year and then to come back to LA and not even making nowhere near the money you would have made if you would have went there and signed that deal. I don't know what's all behind it. Maybe it
Nah,
had
hold
I
on, Hugh.
big, but 84
I know good and well you know what's behind this. Think about it. You got Schroeder now. You got your boy. And you got Kendrick Nunn.
Oh no, I was talking about that clown
Okay.
taking money. I'm definitely feeling like they're gonna backdoor or they're gonna try to figure out what they want to do with Russ. Because when I first see Patrick Beverly came, I said, "Damn, that's not looking too good, homie." Because
And
he's
keep in mind, again, I've been flipping through all the channels this week. So NBA radio reported that they had a couple scrimmages last week. The Lakers did unofficial scrimmages where they all went and played, and they were saying that Russ wasn't really working out the way they wanted it to in these
Mm.
scrimmages. That Russ was back to doing Russ and Russ type things. Keep in mind, training camp starts this weekend for a lot of teams. And my thing is this: on the one hand, you got Russ making $47 million. On the other hand, you got several point guards, not including LeBron. Do you really need Russ? You already know if Russ was making $7 million, he would not be on this team right now. He would not. That being said, I need the Lakers to stop bullshitting. I need you to bite the biggest bullet of all time and either trade him outright to basic team A or just go ahead and cut him and pay him off. Here's 40 that 47 million, Rush. You go do you. We ain't even about to start the season like this. What do you think,
Is it
you?
good? Not definitely if he's still on that roster, man. And you know all the scrutiny and all the stuff he went through. He won't have that pressure now. I'm convinced LBJ has become comfortable not winning as long as he passes up his stats, points, and assists towards his legacy.
That's a strong statement there, Pride.
Man,
Real
I don't know.
strong.
I'm still hungry to win. Too,
I agree
Pride.
with that. That being said, I know LBJ basically is very comfortable in LA right now. And we all know his real mission is to hang on in there till his boys come to the league and understand that they having that discussion with the NBA PA right now about changing the draft status back to where it was, where you can come in the league at 18. So last I checked, I do believe LeBron Jr., Bronny will be 18 next year. Around that same time, it all makes sense.
Hey, what's happening, Ro? How you doing?
Ro checking in as always. What's going on, Ro? Good to hear from you. But yeah, definitely something we're gonna keep an eye on in these first couple weeks as training camp starts. Keep in mind the NBA season starting October 19th. We almost
Right
there,
around the
y'all.
corner, man. Damn. Yes.
That's 28 days away, good people. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we checking it out. But
This the
that
best
being said,
you
let's
can do.
also congratulate yet again the Las Vegas Aces on winning
Oh
the
yeah.
WNBA championship this weekend. Thank you for that little money that you put into
I thought
my
they was gonna
FanDuel
sweep
account.
us first, man. I really did.
But yeah, you again, I'm kind of on the roll right now, sir. I called it day one, did I not?
Yeah, you did. You called that one really early. That
I said
squad, man, with Asia
the
Wilson,
finals, and that's
Asia
exactly what.
Plum. Plum finally stepped up finally because she was just on the milk carton, bro. I was so pissed with her at one point. But Chelsea gonna do herself, man. Like I said, man, she like a more rugged Chris Paul, man. Well, she plays so well, and Asia, man, it's like what more can I say, man? She basically stepped her game up, man, and to see her and Stewie last round play, oh, that was like some of the best basketball, man. But
All right,
kind of
this is interesting. I watched Russ document on Showtime, and he all but said he is comfortable not winning because his stats have secured him a Hall of Fame nod. That being said, if you're really comfortable, then do the right thing. Sign off on whatever trade they trade you to. Get them
just
players
leave.
in Sacramento, Indiana, the Pistons. All those names have been mentioned, by the way.
Yeah, because I
Go
just
ahead, make your last 47 mil, do a couple more years on somebody's bench, and then go right off in the sunset, Russ. If it's really like that. But I don't think your ego is telling the truth yet.
especially with padding his stats, making him a Hall of Famer. Like, come on, man.
I
Like you
mean, bottom
basically
line, Russ is a Hall of Famer in my mind. If he retired tomorrow, he's a Hall of Famer. Nobody's done what he's done in terms of the triple doubles and whatnot. But if you're truly trying to win for real, take your lesser role on the Lakers, accept it with pride, and move forward. You are not the first All NBA person to take a mentioned role in your later years. I remember people like Adrian Dantley and Mark Guire doing such things with Pistons back in the day, for example.
They had no choice because we were smoking hot at the time.
Exactly. But nonetheless, that's all I got for the basketball and such. Oh, one last thing of note. Uh, WNBA got together with all the players that usually go to play for Russia after the WNBA season, and they have collectively, as a league, said no. So the 14 to 15 athletes that were scheduled to play in Russia this year, they all have said no, we're not doing that. No, thank you.
That'll probably never have to be something they'll have to ever worry about again, too, because this is like, it got to the point where it went from just a laugh to just being flat out ridiculous, and it's still happening. I know people look at it and say rules are different in other countries, and we feel like we're America and we can get away with everything. But at the same time, come on, man. It's like y'all try to get on.
That hurts Russia. Do you know the team that Brittany Griner played for? Do you know that Miss Vandershoot, Kelsey Plum, and Brianna Stewart were all on that same team? That would have been a nice little squad. Oh well.
I don't see that happening in the near future.
Nope. And that's the same squad, mind you, that Diana Taurasi played for a couple of years with Brittany Griner. So yeah, that team in Russia, they the real losers on this.
I just hope
we can move on now, Hugh. It is time, my good people, to put all the other sports aside. So I want to make a quick shout out to Roger Federer. Apparently, he's going to be playing his last couple matches this weekend as he's announced his retirement. Definitely want to give him his respect right quick. Any thoughts on that, Hugh?
Most definitely. It was cool to see him in the pictures and how him and Serena got along and how they just been making history. It's just good to see two legends at their peak go out of the game and, know that it was their time. I don't know. They probably still have second opinions or think like, I don't know, maybe I want to come back. But I think that they'll get those jitters out of them, especially Serena trying to raise her child now. But I just think Federer don't really have nothing.
I think Serena's probably more likely to come back than Roger. Basically, they said injuries and really crippled him these last few years. So
because I still think if he stayed healthy, man, Nadal and a lot of these people wouldn't have been able to still mess with him. I'm just saying that's just my opinion.
Right. I mean, considering that you still got Nadal and Djokovic, them hard people to beat healthy. So if you're not 100%, that's just gonna make it that much harder. And keep in mind, they up there in age themselves. Remember, we had this discussion about a year or so ago that the golden age of tennis, as we know it, is coming to an end. Yeah. I don't think we're gonna have dominant people in the sport like we did with the Williams sisters and Federer and Nadal and Djokovic. I think it's gonna be people that win a couple here, win a couple there. They ain't gonna be these people that transcend the sport like that anymore.
No, it ain't gonna be no competitors.
I mean, just look at golf, for instance. Who won the last golf tournament, Hugh?
Good question. I don't even know.
Exactly. And we people that follow sports. So with Tiger Woods not around, you see how that's affecting that already? So
pretty much.
Like when he's gone. I'm just saying.
That's really gonna go. You know what, man? Nobody wasn't really following it to that extent too until he came, and it just skyrocketed so much from what it already was. But you didn't have that many viewers, and it wasn't that much viewership until he came, and he just took it by storm, man. And when he finally gracefully bow out, you're gonna see it kind of take that dip again, and I'm waiting for it.
Yep, because in the end, one day, me and that dude right there, we're gonna play golf. And the only reason I would even consider that is because of Tiger Woods.
Amen.
So get healthy because we doing that. Discussion for another day. But anyway, y'all, we're gonna talk football. I gotta play a couple quick commercials, just a couple quick ones. Don't even get comfortable, Hugh. Don't even do it. We're about to be right back because as soon as we come back, you're gonna have some stuff you need to talk about. You'll understand.
Okay.
Yep.
We're not asking for your permission. We're not seeking your approval. We're claiming what's ours in the name of our ancestors. We are their answered prayers. This is more than a movement. This is a revolution. Black innocence. What are yours today?
Have you been scrolling Facebook and looking for that quick sports fix? Want a quick peek of what's going on in the latest sports news? Check out Pure to the Game sports blog with the sports guru, QD Lee. He'll get you together. Check it out. Follow it on Facebook. Make sure you like it. All right, y'all. We are back. Gametime Audible in the building. Hugh.
Yes, sir.
Stop checking on Aaron for a minute and talk about your blog, sir.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of stuff I want to talk about, and I want to get right into it. I want to start off with that man Mike Evans. After a crazy game, we watched that game, and I kind of looked into it and said this game is kind of funky right now, and you can see like all the talking and the melees and stuff, and it got to the point where I know he's very protective of his quarterbacks. I believe Brady put his hands in Marcus Lattimore's face. I don't think that kind of started a lot of it, you know. But when he slapped his hand and got up in Brady's face, you know, Brady wasn't going back down. But Mike Evans came out and attacked him. But before then, I seen playoff Lenny get shoved, and it was like a little scuffle there with the other players that Marcus Lattimore was in. But I believe the fact that by Mike Evans being on the bench and getting off the bench and doing the retaliation he did, that's the reason why they're going to suspend him. They didn't want him to retaliate like that. And it was just really sad on both sides. I believe that you took away two of their better players, one on defense with Marcus Lattimore and Mike Evans. But it seems like after that happened, they just kind of ran away with the game over there and with the Buccaneers. And it just really got bad, you know, because you don't condone that in sports. But he wanted to fight that suspension, and they upheld it. I love Mike Evans, man. He definitely one of the better wide receivers in the game, but you don't supposed to condone that in the game, man. You guys are role models to these kids, and I felt like it was unacceptable. Maybe I'm just speaking out of line, but at the end of the day, no matter how much of a player or how much I favored you as a person, as a man and an individual, I just felt like that was uncalled for, man, and it wasn't for the sport. And it's really sad, too, because it's not really, you don't really see, and I'm not even really trying to put race in this, you're not really seeing white players act that way and act so maliciously like they did. And we just need to do better as professionals in this sport. And that's something I wanted to talk about before we really get into the topics. But yeah, E, I wanted to know your opinion on everything.
I got to break out the race cards already, Hugh. Right up first part of the discussion, huh? No, I ain't gonna break them out for this one. It wasn't a black and white thing on this. This was a you doing too much thing.
Yeah.
Understand, if you are Leonard Fournette and you standing right there in the middle of the argument, nigga, that's Tom Brady. You better get in the old boy's face and talk to him. You ain't going nobody's Super Bowl without that dude. You better earn that dude respect by getting in that man's face. Because Tom Brady 45 and he spoke up for himself, you better speak up for him. You gonna let him disrespect your quarterback like that? And you standing right there? That. Nah, Mike Evans, we understood you did the right thing and all that. But yeah, you was way over there, bro. You shouldn't have been up in there. That's why you got suspended. Because in the end, you weren't the only person that passed the lick, but you passed the hardest lick.
Yeah.
That's why the 1 game suspension, I felt like that was fair. I understand you tried to get it expunged, so to speak. They rescinded that like, no, sir, you're going to take that 1 game, and yes, you should, and go ahead and serve it and be done with it. Because even though people saying that they probably going to need you for the Packers, I don't really think so. But we'll get to
What you say?
that later. Yeah, the Bucks play the Packers this week, and they saying that it's gonna be a problem because Evans ain't gonna be there. Not so much. But
Nah,
anyway, that being said, Mike should have an issue with the fact that he was the only person that was suspended. That's
yeah,
what I felt was wrong.
should have been suspended too.
Marcus should have got something, and I wouldn't even been mad if Leonard Fournette got something. Now, understand that in the end, it may very well have been Tom Brady that started the whole damn thing. But you're not about to suspend the coach. You can't do that. That's bad for the league. And I understand Tom Brady don't look like me, but that's Tom Brady.
And it's funny too.
I think he could have threw a few punches and made somebody bleed, and they still wouldn't have suspended Tom Brady. I got to be honest with you. He got it like that.
Because we still look at Roddy Goodell as one of the biggest clowns in the world, man, after the whole Deflategate situation. We're not even going to get into all that.
Yeah,
but
and
we know what happened at the end of that year.
Nothing to do with Tom Brady having to mess with him on any level.
And what happened at the end of that season? He ended up holding and hoisting the Barty Trophy.
And he kissed the ring and handed him the trophy. Yeah, I'm sure he still had nightmares about that.
Oh man, you can see it. He was pissed. He had that trophy off.
He was not happy.
That was one of the best moments of football to me.
He very much was. He was very.
And we about to cut into this one too, E man, because we both were kind of looking like what is going to happen because we heard over the summer, and we heard so much, and people laughing and making jokes about this man. But right now they're looking like a legit team, and I've got my eye on that Buffalo and Miami game too, man, because the defense always been decent. But now you got the Cheetah over there and Waddle, two of the fastest dudes in the league, and Tua Tagovailoa basically did something I've never seen before. He threw two picks. They was down 35-14. I said it's over. One of my partners was telling me, yeah, he was not looking too good for them. So I kind of turned away from that game and was looking at different games. And when they get that bad that they don't even spotlight those games anymore, where they just black it out and put on another game to substitute that game. And I was like, why is this game still on TV? And Tua threw 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. They were down 35-14, like I said, and he threw 4 touchdowns to win the game. What the hell is going on over there with Baltimore and that defense? Because that's not Baltimore defense like. Is Tua that good, or is it just that defense that bad?
It's both. It's both. Bottom line is you've never seen a Baltimore Ravens defense play that bad as they did on Sunday. Never. I'm pretty sure Ed Reed was looking at his TV, ready to throw something at him. He couldn't believe that the Baltimore Ravens were playing defense like that. You've seen a couple of those touchdowns. When I say people was wide open, that I could have threw that one touchdown to the Cheetah. Yeah, I think I got enough arm to air it out that 40 yards to somebody that's wide.
Over 2 defenders, turned and looked at them. He looked at the first one, then he looked at the second one and gave him the peace sign and kept running.
Right, because bottom line is basic wide receiver A would have been like, okay, cool. But somebody with that type of speed and you basically get them a 10-yard lead on you, yeah, that wasn't a good look. But that being said, yeah, let's put some respect on Tua Tagovailoa's name right quick. Y'all know y'all wrote that dude off. Y'all kept forgetting the fact that he had major surgery, the type of major injury that retired one of the greatest all-around athletes of all time, the great Bo Jackson. Not only did he have that injury and actually had it worse than Bo, but has completely come back from it and has become quite the quarterback. Speaking of people betting on themselves, that's one of the people I'm talking about. Because right now, if you can come up with about 3-4 more games like that and get Miami to the playoffs, I see a big pay. I see a big payday in your future too, sir, Mr. Tavallo. And shout out to his little bro who will be playing this week as Maryland takes on my Michigan Wolverines. Don't show that dude no love, okay? Whoop his butt. Whoop his little
He
brother.
crashed.
But at any rate, yeah, I definitely like what I saw out of Tua. But that being said, that was last week. Oh, that ain't about to go on this week. Buffalo for real.
Buffalo for real, for
I,
real.
I gotta admit, I'm not gonna keep my streak going because I picked San Diego to win the Super Bowl. I don't see nobody beating Buffalo right now.
They
You
not
look
even making games
down.
close, man. And you got to put respect on my man's name because you thought that he was over his hump, man. You thought that he was done. You thought he was washed.
I ain't say he was washed. I just said that I didn't feel like he was gonna contribute as much as he has early on. Not only with his play, his actual play, but with his leadership as well. That's the part that I kind of took for granted. The fact that him being on that squad will inspire them to be an even better defense than they were last year when they were
Yeah.
the number one defense in the NFL. That much I have to admit.
Now he trying to call himself. I thought that he was a little over. Like there's one thing I disagree with what he said, but if he could pull it off this year, which is kind of looking like it is, he said he's the Super Bowl whisperer.
He could very well be.
If they
And
pull it off this year, I would
if you
definitely
go
agree.
to Instagram, you see that young lady that he is seeing. She's dead. Shout out to Denise. She that deal. Look it up, y'all. But yeah, go ahead.
And Kyler Murray, man, that comeback win after being down 20-0 at the half. That was crazy because of the fact is I didn't know Ian until I looked into the game real good and I started seeing a lot of memes online. They were actually at the half popping bottles in Las Vegas like they won the Super Bowl. And lo and behold, they just slowly was getting field goals and getting points here and getting points there. And I said, damn, man, they only down like 8 points now, man. This game getting kind of interesting. Then they scored and got the 2 point conversion. And once it went to overtime, it was lights out. I was like, man, those were two comebacks that now people are looking at it, no matter how much they're up. They're saying, hey, man, we're not going to take the, gas off the metal, or the foot off the metal and keep the pedal to the metal because you never know what a team, the fight that they have in them. And it was just really pitiful to me because not only did they win the game, but another team who we thought would be a deep playoff contender with some of the additions they got, Devontae Adams, Chandler Jones, a couple good pieces over there that was added to the Raiders mix. And it seems like they just didn't mesh well, man. To go 0-2 like they did too, and it just seemed like they gave up in that game.
All right, here's the deal. First of all, week one we said, yeah, you, Aaron Rodgers, you missed Devontae. Last week, yeah, you Devontae, you missed Aaron Rodgers. It was the whole other way around. That dude had two catches. Two catches. That's why they lost. You can't let the man who led the league in receptions 2 of the last 3 years have two catches. That just don't make no sense. Second of all, Hunter Renfro. You got to hold on to the ball, homie. You can't
That
have
cost
two fumbles at the end of the game like that. That's a bad dude. But that
like the
being
song,
said,
know how to hold them, know how to fold them. Hey, he wanted to get them extra yards. Damn, man. Them extra yards cost them that game. They could have least.
here's the thing. And somebody made a very interesting observation. They continue to get on Kyler Murray about this whole studying the offense thing.
Mhm.
I don't think it's an issue of him studying the offense. I think it's the issue of studying this offense that's made too complex by a head coach that think he is an offensive guru like Sean McVay or some of those type of folks. You, sir, are not them. Your air raid offense, you are making it too complex. That is why Kyler Murray is not following it to your example. You need to be smart. You need to start catering their offense, much like Baltimore's done with Mr. Jackson, much like Philadelphia's done with Jalen Hurts. Fit it towards your personnel. Stop trying to make your personnel fit towards it. Because obviously, when he does not play, you've had other quarterbacks be in when Murray's been hurt. That offense don't look nowhere near as good. That's part of the concession you need to make with Kyler Murray. The second thing is y'all been getting on him about being a video gamer and about playing a lot of Madden. Clearly, that kind of plays to his advantage. Because when you look at some of those plays he made in the fourth quarter, overtime, they were Madden. Understand, when we play on easy mode, we can do Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray can do Kyler Murray in real life. That is why he's able to make plays that seemingly almost any other quarterback in the league could not.
That play.
Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Remember the play E when they looked like he was going to get sacked. I don't know how the hell he got up that Max Crosby sack, and he rolled out, looked around, looked through all his options, couldn't find nobody, and ran it in for the touchdown. Then after that, they went for a 2-point conversion. It took him forever. He scrambled, looked, telling the people where to go in the back of the end zone, and finally got the 2-point conversion. I said, man, this dude's incredible, man.
If you think that's crazy, you should actually see the full view. They had like a up top view of that play as it happened. It literally looked like some crazy stuff you would do on that. It really looked like that. You had all 11 people trying to chase him and figure out where he was going. It was nuts that he pulled that off.
It was amazing.
You have to be a special type of athlete to have that. Not only be fast enough to make that happen, but have the arm strength to pull off the throw.
Yeah, it was a wacky Sunday, man. It was so much crazy stuff going on too, man. And I'm about to get off into some of the other games too, man. 3 teams right now who are looking really bad right now in the AFC, and I want to know out of these 3 teams, man. We spoke about one of them, so I'm about to minus that team being 0-2, and I'm about to talk about the other 2 teams, man. The Colts and the Bengals. The Colts, man, I definitely lost any respect of what I ever had in them because the first game when they lost, I said, okay, man, it was just, a bad field goal. And they ended up getting rid of Blankenship right afterwards because they supposed to definitely been 1-0 after that game. But to lose to the Jaguars, I'm not talking about just losing to the Jaguars because y'all lost to the Jaguars last season to where if you would have won that game, y'all would have went to the playoffs and y'all lost. But you guys got blanked 24-0 to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Can you put some respect on Trevor Lawrence's name right quick? I told you the Jaguars would be better this year, y'all. And they clearly are showing that in these first couple of weeks. That being said, they ain't that much better. They ain't supposed to be blanking nobody.
Waiting for that. I was waiting for that, E, because I had to basically wait and embrace to see what you was going to say.
Remember, they've been saying the last few years, the only thing the Colts missing is a quality quarterback. And they tried Wentz and that didn't work. And they tried Rivers and that didn't work. And they tried Brissett and that didn't work. And now they trying Matty Ice and that's not going to work.
That's not going to work whatsoever.
Yeah, the Colts have a quarterback problem. And they need to stop solving it with retreads. It's time to go ahead and accept that after these next couple games, if y'all don't get nowhere, it's time to start tanking for Young or tanking for Stroud. Take your pick. I think either one will make a fine quarterback. But yeah, Caleb Williams, whoever. Bottom line is the Colts, put them on the shelf. They ain't going nowhere, okay? The The Jaguars will have some more good games later on down the line. I'm really interested to see how they do against the Lions when we play them later on this year. But I wasn't convinced with the Colts when we played them in the preseason. Keeping in mind that they didn't really play their starters that game and we didn't either, but their backups look real trash. So if they have any major injuries over there, it's gonna be that much worse. But yeah, the Colts are done. Now the Bengals, that's another story. My main concern with them is that you spent this money trying to get the offensive line together because clearly that's why y'all lost the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir.
Don't look like y'all did a good job because every time I looked up, my man Joe Burrow's getting up off the grass. He getting sacked again and again. So
I was
I made an observation on one of the talking shows that at this rate, he's gonna end up like Andrew Luck.
you know what?
He's gonna be like, you know what? I'm tapping out. I can't do it no more. My body's through.
What's sad about that too, E? Yeah, man, because how many times he got sacked the first two games? In the first two games, I think he got sacked 15, 16 times. That's too many damn times.
I believe the count was 11. Now,
11?
granted, I need you to put some respect on Micah Parsons' name because that ain't no ordinary defender, okay? That's a bad man. Damn Aaron Rodgers. Micah Parsons is a bad man. That dude looking real good defensively right now. I'm
won.
Lawrence Taylor type level. I said type level. I didn't say he was Lawrence Taylor. Don't come on me later on and talk about he was good as LT. I seen LT in his prime. Wasn't nobody that good.
I was gonna get on you.
No. I ain't say that now. I ain't putting that much respect on Micah's name. But Micah on that level. He on that Aaron Donald
Definitely a freak
level, okay?
He's a freak.
That part.
But yeah, man.
But the Bengals, if y'all don't get that together, y'all gonna have a long season.
I see when they got Alex Kappa and the friends from New England, and they were trying to get pieces over there and get guys up the line. I felt like from the names alone, but sometimes that paper don't mesh, man. And one thing we do gotta realize too, man, and you're starting to see this in the NFL as it unfolds right now. It's unveiling right in front of our faces, man. It's like we looked at this off season and couldn't wait to see some of the stuff go and unfold from the paper to the actual live footage. And right now, the Raiders are still in their hole. You got the Bengals maybe having a little bit of that Super Bowl, hangover. The Colts, man, it's not looking too good with them, with their whole situation with Matty Ice, because he's starting to throw picks all over the place. And
them is the worst team in the league right now. I'm waiting to see if you're going to mention them.
I was about to definitely tell you to put some respect on them dudes' name. I was surprised. That was another comeback that I was very disappointed with.
And what game are you talking about?
Cleveland is one of the better teams.
No, that ain't the team I'm talking about, but go ahead.
But we got to talk about this one, E. We got to talk about this one. Cleveland was up pretty big, too, but they let Joe Flacco turn back the hands of time, man, and he threw like 3-4 touchdowns, 300 yards on them and pulled that game off in overtime. And I was like, when Cleveland Browns, of course they don't have Watson right now, to his fault. But I was like, damn, what is going on, man? I looked up and seen the Jets was down by a lot, and they turned back around and they beat the Cleveland Browns. Not trying to say my man's Jacoby Brissett tearing it up over there, or he that dude, but yeah, man, I was definitely surprised with that one too, because when you said worst teams, I know you always bash the Jets, but I had to give them a little respect with that one with old man Flacco.
I'm gonna give them some respect as long as they do me one favor.
What's that?
Don't put Wilson back in. Even be healthy this week. Don't put him back in. Y'all gotta let it ride with Flacco, baby. Y'all look like you actually a better team with him.
They look more sound. I agree.
So interested in y'all take on the Hall of Fame. Hall of features Brett Favre, yo. I have no idea what that's about.
They've been on Brett's head, man, with the whole thing of him, with the money and, putting his hands in where it don't belong, man. Yeah, he been doing a lot of dirty stuff, man, making millions and doing just stuff that, if we did, we'd be in jail for, E. But
I have to have more information about it, so I can't comment on the prize.
Pete, I want your take on that, man. How do you feel that dude should be in jail or he should be in court or something should be going on with that man right now? But it ain't no way in hell they just gonna sweep that under the rug and act like it's okay. Because of the fact is, if you and I did that, then we would be in jail. But since it's Brett Favre, not only is his name not getting scrutinized, but he's not even really going through the ringer on ESPN or none of these other platforms who love to when a black person mess up to throw it all in their face.
Well, I guess that's part of why I don't know what's going on. I've been listening to all the talking heads. As you know, I do this a couple days before the show, but I don't recall anybody mentioning anything about Brett Favre. So again, I have to do some research on that one. You one up on me on that one, Pride.
Because what he was doing was funneling millions of dollars, man. He was making so much money and doing like dirty schemes and scams and stuff that got him rich, man. But when they wanted that money back, he kind of folded. But yeah, it's a lot to it, E. But I want to when I get that, I'm gonna get that article for you and I'm gonna pull it up. But yeah, you got to look into it more. It's really definitely tasteless, man.
All right. Well,
And
like I said, I promise we'll talk about that next week, Pride, once I get educated on the situation.
okay, he said hopefully they building the case now, because he should be facing jail time. Exactly. ESPN and others are horrible for this because they will not say a word, man. They keeping their mouth shut. But yeah, he was just basically laundering money, man, and getting like millions and just doing stuff, basically some come up money schemes, but nothing happened. He's not
Okay.
even really thrown through the ringer or anything. One of the ladies on NFL took a slight jab at him, but he hurried up and got off of it. But yeah, man, I'll definitely give you that article and find it for you, and we'll definitely discuss more of that next
All
week.
right.
But
Now, in the meantime, I'm still wondering if you're gonna bring up the team. I think is the worst team in the league right now. But you still
like
have
you
yet.
said, I definitely thought the worst team to you was the Jets.
No, that was the worst team last year. I'm talking the worst team right now. I guess I'm about to bring it up for you. Let's talk
Yeah,
about this game here. The final score of that game was the Broncos 16, the Texans 9. But that being said, what's going on with the Broncos? They look horrible.
because I was definitely gonna say something about this guy sooner than later. That wasn't gonna escape me and our discussions, man. That coach needs to be fired. It ain't
His
nothing else to
game
it.
management is terrible.
He don't even have a game plan. I just think he go out there with his head up his ass, man. Because I'm just surprised that not only in that first week one game that y'all had a chance to pull it out with a guy who's pretty familiar in Seattle in the fourth quarter and coming back and winning games. And you take it out of his hand and you put it in the kicker's hands. And this game right here, it was like you got weapons. Yeah, Jerry Judy got hurt and he went out, but you still had a guy in Cortland Sutton and a couple of other pieces on that team that was legit. You still have Melvin Gordon and, guys who can still make a play. But it was just weird to me to see how that Texas defense stepped up towards them because I'm looking like, man, am I tripping? Because the Texans not only beat the Colts, but they turned around and they
No,
gave.
no, 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 no. Texans tied the Colts. Let's be fair to the Colts. It was a tie.
Okay,
But that being said, the Texans are trash. They shouldn't be beating nobody.
that's damn near a win though when the Texans tie you, and that's bad, man. Because I just feel like Russ, and it's funny to me because all the teams that we thought was going to really be superior right now or give Kansas City a little run for their money, they're all struggling. Like the Broncos are 1-1. what
And
they
there's
should be
that.
too.
And I really need to figure out why Russ decided this year that I'm kind of done scrambling. I don't think I'm gonna do a lot of running this year. I'm gonna just try to stay in the pocket and win with my arm. What brought on this change?
Hey, you hear what Pryor said? He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
saying you using funds that were for welfare and donating them to his alma mater to build a new soccer arena and to help from a former politician and upwards $5 million that he basically
If
schemed.
it's stuff on that level, yeah, that's some pretty skanky stuff, no doubt.
You know they was gonna sweep it under the rug though, and you know I'm not even gonna get into the race car. We're just gonna leave it alone right now.
I gotta whip
Man,
these out again
I definitely feel bad too, man. We had some bittersweet moments too this week, man. Jimmy Garoppolo came in and he played pretty well, man. When he came in, he stepped in, and it seemed like they didn't miss a beat. It seemed like in this case, it was unfortunate because I was still looking forward to seeing Trey Lance in that second game because he was actually playing really well that game. The sun was out. It wasn't a tsunami when they was playing, and
here.
he was pretty good playing the part. But unfortunately, he had a really bad injury that landed him out for the rest of the season. But we talked about it, E, when we saw that. We said, damn, I think that was the best investment of any team. I don't give a damn what draft pick they got or whatever they did in San Francisco. Them saying, we're going to hold on to Jimmy. At first, I thought they
Like
was
I
crazy.
said, they looking real genius right now. But you know
Yeah.
what would impress me even more? Because in watching that game and watching Trey Lance early on, you know who he reminded me of?
Who?
Take a guess.
Who, your boy?
A young Colin Kaepernick, exact. And now that Jimmy G is the starter, they need a backup quarterback, don't they? You
Yep.
know who they can bring in, right? Because if any team is going to be able to accept Mr. Kaepernick, it had to been the team that he came from, where they do have love for him in San Francisco.
Yeah, that'd be a really crazy reunion because you know he's not being all funny style about not being a starter or anything of that nature. But yeah, that's something
And
that I
Shanahan does run a West Coast type offense, does he not? Something that
absolutely
Kaepernick is familiar with.
he flourished in that offense.
I'm just
But
saying.
I respect Harbaugh just that much more too, E, when it comes to coaches in general, because of the fact is he gave that man a chance over Alex Smith because he believed in him, and that turned out to be pretty good in my opinion.
Right. That
And
being said, I think Trey Lance done
damn, already
already. I
you
mean,
scaring
bottom
me.
line is, yeah, he'll recover from the injury and everything, but if you get another Jimmy G season where they get close to the Super Bowl, it only makes sense to at that point keep Jimmy G and give Trey Lance a couple more years to figure it out.
Then they would really go down the tank for that man because they gave up a lot of picks and they got
Yeah, and that's the only reason why it may not go that way. But sometimes, like I said, sometimes you just got to suck it up. I
but
mean, maybe
Jimmy G
part of why
came in.
we got the extra picks from the Rams was because we figured that we wasn't gonna keep Jared Goff. And guess what? Jared Goff not the issue right now. I would
That
almost hope to say that yeah, we probably should keep Jared Goff and pay him and use them draft picks on some defense.
yeah, because that's they bad, man. And that's one of the things that me and one of my homeboys, Adrian, was talking about recently too. He still feel like he don't think that golf can get them to the promised man like promised land deep into the playoffs. But I said, but what I've seen right now though, man, in the last 2 weeks, that Detroit Lions offense is pretty entertaining, man. You know, DeAndre Swift, you know, Hawkinson, you know, my man's Ahmed Ra.
St. Brown, exactly. Put some respect on
And,
that brother's name.
I just love to say Alba, man. I think that dude's a
Good
monster.
job, baby.
Him and his brother Aquamini actually had some good games this week, you
He
know.
had a
But
nerve to pronounce that right, but then did Amara say, ain't that awesome?
But it's funny too, man, that to see how well they played and see how bad the defense was, because Aaron Glenn was so pissed off on Hard Knocks, and it seemed like that just basically floated into the season that they're just really bad. You know, you have some good rushes every now and then from my man's Hutchinson, but
Man, I'm so glad that he showed up and showed out this weekend. The people on the local station was going crazy. See, they done drafted him second pick, and nah, he ain't no better than that damn Akuda. And shut up.
because Acuna, man, I think he's probably injured again, and it's starting to become a bad trend with him. And it's just like that defense is atrocious, man. They need to do something with the defense. I didn't think they were going to be that bad, but
Right.
obviously to
The
hear
fact that you just get a couple more decent players in the interior and on the linebacker core, that dude going there with like 20 sacks, Hutchins. You just need a little more help.
a little more, get him some cornerbacks that who, if he can rush, give him time that they can rush. But it's not really looking too good
Darius
so far,
Slayton,
Ian. I don't really like the direction, unfortunately.
like a Darius Slay, for instance.
Man, well, I want to speak about that too, man. That's another team who's looking right.
That hurt
That
my
dude's
soul.
scary right now over there with the Philadelphia Eagles, man. And oh man, that defense was looking scary, man. More or less because of him. Because the game plan was, I don't think that what I didn't like about the I didn't like the Vikings game plan. You want to go with the hot hand, you got to spread the ball around because you already know Eagles knew after that big game he had week one, man, we got to keep somebody on him, man. And then they was like Slake stick on this guy. Slay sticked on his ass like glue.
Like
His stats wasn't nowhere as near as good, man. He end
shut
zone.
him down. He shut him down.
And all those picks. And Kirk Cousins went back to himself. He was throwing 1,000 picks like he normally do. I just was feeling like the Eagles look real tough, man.
It seemed like he could have had 5 or 6.
Man, he dropped one too.
He dropped a couple.
He dropped one. And I just don't see them, those guys going into like this year is starting to frighten me too, because I remember on Facebook, I was on my homeboy's page, my boy Marcus, and we were all talking, and he was like, man, this game right now is it was kind of funky. And I said, wait, man, I said, you just wait and see. I said that game gonna get bad, but I told him that Bills game was gonna really get out of hand in the second half. But I didn't think the Eagles game was gonna get as bad as it did too. It was damn near like a blowout because they scored that one touchdown.
Don't be surprised if they mess around and beat the Lions this week. That's just how Minnesota is.
They're so iffy, man. They'll have great games and they'll have bad games. There's no it's highs and lows. There's never no in between. It's never them winning an ugly game and just having a game where it's grit and they just fight it out and find a way to win. It's either they're going to look real good or they're going to look real bad. That's always with them, man. Kirk Cousins is going to always look like a real good quarterback or he's going to look real bad. And it seems like he give up a lot of picks. That's just what they do, man. And I feel like this got tons of money. It's like
in just these 2 weeks. They didn't even look like the same team that whooped up on the Packers last week. It was crazy.
Oh, man, it was like the tail of the tape almost. And the Eagles look like juggernauts, man. And I think that another team I want to talk about, I know they're missing their number one wide receiver, man, and that's the Tennessee Titans, man. They didn't look that well. Embarrassed. At first, the game was going to be close, and it got ugly. 47.
Because I really think he's a good coach, but he didn't kind of put his cart and wagon on the wrong somebody right now. I get him a couple more weeks. If we ain't seeing no better play out of Tannehill, it may be time to go ahead and sit him down. See what you got with Willis.
We was talking about that too, because when we saw the game, and at first I said I turned it off, and when you said Malik Willis came in, I said let me check it out. Then let me see what this young man do. But the same thing happened with the Bills. It got so bad that it was like, man, we're not going to risk Josh Allen getting hurt.
For
I
what?
forgot that Case Keenum, man, and that's still a hell of a quarterback as far as a backup because well, sometimes Josh Allen do a lot of running, and he might have a nagging injury or something where they wouldn't have to even really push for him to play. Because Case Keenum, I don't think he get a lot of credit where he deserved. And I still felt like I felt bad that time when he lost his job, man, because when he played well, and for him to just be a backup now, which I think is in his own means to be a backup, I don't think that he can lead a team. I might be wrong, but I doubt that part. But yeah, I just basically feel like right now, man, what we were saying was probably what it's gonna be, man. I definitely see the Bills going out of the AFC, man, because I don't know who all they play this year, but like right now when they play Miami, I don't even think it's gonna be close. I would give Miami a lot of props if they could even make the game a touchdown or a two touchdown loss. Because when they played the two teams they played, like they embarrassed the Super Bowl champs game one, and that was the foundation they laid.
Right,
You
and I
know,
gotta admit, they
and
didn't
just
look all that great that second half of the game against the Falcons either.
what was crazy about that too, E man? The Falcons had a chance to win that game.
Yeah, hold on, quick update, Hugh. Don't look like
Okay,
Aaron Judge gonna do it tonight. We in the bottom of the eighth. He just came to bat. They walked him.
damn.
So
So yeah, it.
finished 2 for 4, walking a strikeout. It's 11-2, by the way. So yeah, that game's pretty much over.
Yeah, I was upset too because he struck out, man. But then you said he got a double too. But yeah, I kind of figured they wasn't going to come enough bats today. He'll eventually get it, but I just was like, I don't think the Pirates want to get embarrassed as bad as they already are. Hell, they losing 11-2 without
Right.
his bat.
That being said, he still had a league and batting average tonight after them 2 hits. So look out. That Triple Crown looking
Man,
real good right now.
I want to get into before we get off the air too, man. I want to talk about some of these games that's going to happen this week
All right, what we got?
in the NFL, man. I don't really want to talk about Thursday game. We're going to jump past that. But
Yeah, I think the Browns gonna find a way to win that one, and then the chance for the new quarterback to come in Pickett will start to get real loud. But beyond that, I don't think we learned too much.
yeah, because they was pissed off and booing him from the get go, and that was one of the worst games I've ever seen, man. On Sunday, that Patriots game with the Steelers was probably
It
the
was
worst
not a
game
good
I've ever seen, man.
It was
It
not a
was
good
on both ends. I don't know what the hell New England doing with that offense. They need to get it together because they're trash.
You know
I
what they
just
doing with the offense, man. You know they got that covered.
they better
You
do something because
you,
they
you
they
know
gonna
my man got that covered.
they gonna fire the pencil again, E, for being an idiot. I want to talk
Hey,
about marquee matchups that we mentioned earlier, man. One of the 4 o'clock games, and that's the Packers at the Buccaneers, man. They have the Packers and the Buccaneers game close, man. They have it as a 1 point minus 1.0 favorite. I thought that at first it was 1-5, so it's a possibility that they're going to probably make it a slight disadvantage due to the fact that Mike Evans out. But at the same time, E, what I'm looking at is with the Packers, man, they had to lean heavy on that run game because a lot of the dudes, as far as their receivers, didn't show up neither.
hmm And that being said, that Bucks defense is a good defense. So I don't see Aaron throwing it around like that. First of all, the game is in Tampa, if I remember correctly, and according to the future forecast, it's supposed to be nice and hot and steamy down there. And you know Aaron Rodgers don't particularly play well in Florida overall. So when the weather's looking like that, that ain't a good sign for him either. That being said, if they get Julio Jones to play, he's not Mike Evans anymore, but I think he'll be good enough to catch a few catches to add to the mix. You're gonna have playoff Lenny get some in, and bottom line, I see Tampa winning that game. I don't think it's gonna be that close. I think it'll be a close game, but I see Tampa winning that by a touchdown.
Hmm. Okay, man, these games are really looking terrible right now on
Yeah, it's
paper,
not
man.
like great games this week. I agree.
It's a good revenge game, man. It's a division game with the NFC West. And this was interesting because they both 1-1. Yeah, they both look shaky at the week one, but then I still feel like it's a lot more problems with Los Angeles versus the Arizona Cardinals. Who do you have in that one? The Rams and the Cardinals. They have the Los Angeles Rams minus 3.5 in this one.
Again, I gotta tell y'all, your boy is hurt. Okay, Stafford is hurt. I done seen him play long enough to know that dude is not 100%. And I'm not talking about close to 100%. That dude might be 80 or 75%, but he's sucking it up. When you make that type of money and you starting to get the momentum on your side and getting all these endorsements and whatnot, you trying to get your shine while you can get it. That being said, that Cardinal defense ain't quite what it need to be. So that being said, Cooper Cup will get his, and the Rams will probably pull that out. But let it be close in the fourth quarter. Bottom line, Kingsbury, I don't know what your thought process is with this whole air raider and making Kyler study that crap. When you get to the fourth quarter, you better let Kyler be Kyler, dog, and let
And
him
that's
have.
what that's what he said won the last game, man. That was like, so what was different this game than it was the first game? And he said, I let Kyler be Kyler. And he better start
The
doing that
more you
often
do that, the longer you'll keep your job, sir.
because all this trying to do that air raider crap, man, ain't really working right
Man, they
now.
done paid that dude big money. He ain't going nowhere. You on the
Right,
other
done
hand, your seat's starting to get a little hot over there.
there. Because it's a lot of hot seats right now in NFL. I got one right now, man, that I didn't really pay attention to, but I kind of took a glance at it. 49ers and the Broncos, man. They actually had a 49ers winning in Denver
As
minus
they should.
1.5.
As they should. I'm going with the 49ers all day on that one.
I
They ready.
actually got 49ers by 10 points in that one. That 1.5 maybe just be a home favorite to them, but I definitely have the Broncos losing that one by 10 points because of the fact is they look lost. I don't even know. Will the real Randy Gregory please stand up? Will the real Bradley Chubb please stand up? Because
Yeah, with a
I
real
have,
Russell Wilson stand up. That's who they need to stand up. They don't
man,
go nowhere without that dude.
it's not looking too good over there for them right now, man. Hopefully they can get it together. Hopefully Russ just basically stop being so, laid back and peaceful and just start being a little bit more aggressive. I think if he start being more of an a-hole, he could get his way, man. But I understand he respect that coach, but the coach need to respect him to do and have better game plans because they just don't look good over there. And I definitely had the 49ers by 10 points, man. It'd probably be like 21-31.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Funny game that I've seen too, man, and I think this one gonna get ugly. And I'm surprised the Chiefs is not favored by more. They had the Chiefs versus the Colts, man, and they have the Chiefs on the up minus 5.5. Yeah, they're in Indianapolis, by the way.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. Mahomes gonna dominate.
Because if they got blanked by the Jaguars, it's really gonna get nasty when you got the magician over there, man. I had this game getting real ugly. I'm going to even go out on a limb and say they even have a little sympathy for him at the end. I'm going to go 38-10, Kansas City.
Uh I say a little less. Bottom line is the only way you can even attempt to win that game is to run the football. And you do have a good running back over there. So if you could keep Mahomes off the field, you might be able to keep it 31-13. Bottom line is, yeah, that's another A.
How do you feel about this Monday night game, man? This is one, man. I by me being a fan, I'm gonna try to watch it, but it can be hard to stomach, real easy too, man. This game it goes to no other than the 2-0 New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. They have the Giants by minus 1.0.
That might low key be a good game. Cooper Rush looked pretty decent last week, and the Giants they've been making stuff happen. That's all I can tell. Bottom line, Daniel Jones still ain't nobody's real starting quarterback, but he done did enough to make it work for him so far. And Saquon Barkley
And Brian
is a rookie year, so I can see that going either way. I think that he is
Brian
going to pick up at this point.
I really see that one going to be an interesting game too. I would really be more impressed to see what the Giants do. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna still say that minus one is pretty relevant. But I don't know, man. If that defense can hold, I'm gonna probably go with the Dallas Cowboys winning that one though, in like a really
Now,
a
now,
hard fought game.
right now, I noticed that you have omitted talking about any college games from last week, and I pretty much understand that. Wasn't a lot to say about that.
Really
We
bad.
did learn for the most part that Michigan State, y'all not that good.
Man, you call that game too? It got real ugly, man, because
It
Washington was going up a lot too. And when Michigan State started to make their comeback, I got a little nervous. I said, "Man, what is going on?" Because I definitely needed that game because my sister always rubbed it in our face whenever Michigan State do anything, and I just wanted to see how she react with that game because that was an unranked team, and they just went in and
But
steamed.
that being said, they did very much benefit from the transfer portal. Penix Jr., he was very highly recruited coming out of high school, and he was a very good player at Indiana those first couple of years, up until when he got injured. But because he benefited from the COVID year and whatnot, he's over there playing football now, and he's looking real good.
Rose saying the Cowboys going to win, but the Giants is going to make it a good game.
I I argue that. I see that. But
I
yeah,
would even the Giants win that one, honestly.
the one other game I want to talk about from college last week, shout out to Appalachian State. They are having quite a season over there in Appalachian State.
And yeah,
Like I
that
said,
Hail Mary
I
is one
definitely,
heard around.
right. I definitely have a place in my heart for a smaller program school, seeing I came from such a place. Shout out to the Emu Eagles, who handled their business with Arizona State and pretty much got Herm Edwards fired.
Oh yeah,
And left the building, no less.
they
But
embarrassed.
that being said, Appalachian State, they almost beat North Carolina. They did beat Texas, and now this game here, they having quite a season over there. I hope they do manage to win enough games to where they end up making it to a bowl. And I definitely would not want to be the team that have to play them in anybody's bowl.
Yeah, because you know who they remind me of, E man. They remind me of what Boise State
Yeah, I
used to
knew
be.
you was going there. I knew you was going there. And yeah, they kind of remind me of that as well. Those couple
It's
of years where they basically became real legitimate real quick after
if
beating
you want,
Nebraska and Oklahoma.
it's a couple games we could talk about in college too. I just started strolling through the area.
All right, we
It's,
can break them up right quick.
Clemson and Wake Forest, man. Now, that's gonna be a good one, and it's in Wake Forest. Because
Mm.
I don't got no problems with Clemson, and I do think DJ Uliangalale is getting better. But I see they still have their little struggles. But that being said, I'm really
No,
interested in the game.
tackling them names like it's nothing. I wasn't even going to attempt that name. It was rolled off his tongue. Somebody been practicing. But yeah, that being said, Clemson ain't quite as good as they championship years, but that's still a real good team over there in Clemson. And shout out to
They got
Dabo Swinney. But Wake Forest actually is improved, and that ain't gonna be no cakewalk like it's been in the past.
the Deacon Demon's gonna give them a problem. If they say 7 points, I wouldn't even really be mad at that because I think it's going to be a close game. It could go either way because, we've been getting a lot of upsets in college, but I wouldn't even be upset if Clemson did pull it off by 7. They had a lot better personnel and they had better recruits during the years, too. So Dabo might have the advantage on that, but please don't sleep on my man's and just don't sleep on Wake Forest in general.
Right. And I got to bring up my Wolverines just for the simple fact that K McNamara, man, I'm not liking the trajectory of his life right now. That is so crazy that he went through all that, end up losing the starting job. Then they put him in for mop up duty, and he messed around and get hurt and gonna be out for a few games. It just sucked to be him right now. It really do.
That paved the way for my man's McCarthy, though, which he definitely deserved.
So yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens there, particularly if McNamara struggles. Who you put in now? Or do it at that point? You gotta let him ride it out, don't you?
What's up with your man's? I see this is a good one. I just looked at this one. I'm surprised I didn't mention this one first. You got number 11 Tennessee playing the Florida Gators. It's gonna be in Tennessee, and it's probably one of the
Now,
biggest.
you gotta know the game in the swamp always is a good game between Tennessee and Florida. That rivalry goes back many years to the days of the Peyton Mannings of the world. So yeah, they always play a nice tough game when they that's one of the bigger rivalry games in all of college football. So that's definitely gonna be a good game just for the strength of that. But I'm interested to see if Milton, the former Michigan quarterback, ends up playing in that game. I do believe the starting quarterback for Tennessee got hurt at some point last week too, and you may have Milton playing that game against Florida. That would be interesting.
You check this out, man. I don't know, man. They must be tripping on this one. I might be wrong, man, but I definitely don't believe I'm losing it here. Arkansas number 10 versus 23 Texas A&M, and they have Texas A&M winning by minus 1.5. I
Texas
definitely think
A&M had quite the schedule this year, haven't they?
they've been really giving them a lot of love, and they don't deserve it, man. After getting embarrassed when they lost, I definitely got Arkansas. I'm gonna go Arkansas by 14.
Yeah, and if that happens that way, that seat get real hot down there in Texas A&M for your boy Fisher. So yeah, he at least need to make that a game. But yeah, like I said, just looking at their schedule, Texas A&M, they got a rough one. I think they still play Auburn. They still obviously play Alabama. I believe they get Georgia too on that schedule. So yeah, it's gonna be a long season for Texas A&M. They don't get it together.
Yeah, because it was a couple of powerhouse teams or ranked teams playing each other, but there's a lot of
I
cupcakes.
think they play Florida too for that matter. So yeah, Texas A&M they gonna have a long season.
Yeah, because I looked and seen when I first saw the first game too that came up, the Alabama Vanderbilt. I wasn't definitely going to talk about that. And Georgia and Kent State, we just had to leave those alone, man. But it's going to be a couple of college ranked teams that play. It's going to be interesting, and I'm looking forward to. Yeah, man, I can't wait till they start getting more deeper into the divisions and then start playing the tougher games. But I do see the Ohio State versus Wisconsin. I don't know how well that's going to be, though, because Wisconsin's not nearly as good as they used to be in the prior years, too.
Yeah, like I said, that should at least be a game where the team ain't getting blew out this week. Ohio State they had a cupcake schedule just like we had, so we need them to actually start playing some meaningful games because it makes for some very dull television watching them in Michigan these last few weeks.
It
But
got real.
nonetheless, that's what we got. There is the story about Imani Bates, but I think I'm gonna hold off on that one till next week. There's
Okay.
some other things that's starting to come up in regards to that story that I kind of want to dig into before we get into that. But we are aware of it, and we definitely will talk about it next week on the show. Shout out to Coach B, him and his guy doing their thing over there on their show. I will acknowledge them as they acknowledge us. And that being said, I'm about to call it the evening. Yes, Leroy, I'm about to call you. But again, good job as always, Hugh. Definitely appreciate it. You will also again see Mr. Lee next week on Get Off This Long Live as we will be doing a special tribute to our friend and colleague, the late Elena Hologram, aka Derek Smith. His birthday is this coming Monday, and we kind of want to honor him by doing a show and just talking about our thoughts about him and how we miss him and all of that. So we will definitely be doing that next Tuesday. Of course, I will be having the regular edition of Get Off This Lawn Live tomorrow, as I was unable to do it yesterday. A lot of stuff was going on, but we'll be back tomorrow to talk about a few things at about 9 o'clock. So join us then. In the meanwhile, we are headed out. Judge didn't get it done tonight, but yeah, I think we'll definitely be talking about that next week for sure, and maybe
Yeah,
even
man.
so. Looking forward to that discussion also. That being said, y'all know how we do it. Throw the fingers up, you. We is
Until
about
next.
deuces. Gametime Audible is a Nighthawk Network presentation.